wonder how effective these obscura chips are.
Well, they don't call them reality fabrication chips for nothing.
They're gonna start making all the employees get them too.
So what, we're gonna have to install them in our own skulls?
Wouldn't surprise me. They'll let you cut corners to save credit.
They can't give us a raise after working here for years, but they'll blow all the money in the world on fancy mind-controlled chips.
Well, this mind control chip looks secure. Let's stitch them up.
Right, let's get this over with. Say, what are you doing for lunch?
Hey kid, good news. You're hired. And I'm your boss. The company had this communicator dropped off. All worker farm employees get one. It allows me to check in on you at any time. So behave yourself. They only work one way though, so you can't call me like ever. But trust me, if you need something, I'll know. Now don't be late for your first shift. Keep those customers happy. Get it? Welcome to your home away from home. Happy's Humble Burger Farm. It's in disrepair, but don't worry. After a few shifts, they'll all be up and running. Consider it training. Today, all you've got to worry about is the grill. Your Happy's Deluxe, Fantastic Fowl, powder pork patties are all available in the walk-in freezer. Freezer's locked. No stealing the product. So, anyways, if you need help or energy, buy an energy bar from the vending machine. So turn on the lights and the oven, clock yourself in, hit the open sign.
Strangely, Happy's taken on the role of an abusive authority figure at the burger farm simulation. If test subjects miss a shift, Happy drags them to work. If they make mistakes while serving customers, Happy terrorizes them. Evidence shows that she can be subdued by temporarily feeding her a rotten hamburger made from a patty pile she pukes up. As a joy is an organism of unknown origins that attached itself to a Happy the Humble Heifer animatronic. Yes, the cow from the cartoons and the video games. Joy is the only asset we could not contain. She roams freely throughout the facility and is incredibly dangerous. So much so that Paragon plans to abandon its underground operations and convert it into a prison for these things. The scientist who first discovered Joy managed to survive with his life, but not with his sanity. First he turned against Paragon, then he turned against himself. It is inadvisable to interact with Happy, aka Asset Joy. She's violent and extremely dangerous. If she were able to break free from the facility, there's no telling what would happen to the island, or the world at that. That's why I need to stop all this.
Will you survive this dark and dreary night, where shadow hath turned into a sea, an ocean of regret, in which you now drown? Many have fallen by my side, and still many more will fall in the future. My sickle forever stained with their repugnant likeness. No one can escape the eventuality of their fate. No one. Be they children, women, or beasts, be they gods, monsters, or men, they all fall silent and still in the cold, eternal embrace of death. Life is fleeting, ephemeral. Death is destiny. Death is home. Would you rather live home? Will you survive tonight's dance through this cursed moonlight? Death, homicide, murder, fatality, mortality, all but finite measures. The smallest of calculations representing your insignificant end. All death is the same, untimely, meaningless, and insignificant. Your harvest is a certainty, and in the grand scheme, trivial. Succumb to the source.
Whatever that was, I advise going home. Definitely don't investigate. Leave it to the pros. The new Elysian Police and Fire Department will take care of it. There's no reason to be wandering towards the sound of chaos. Or at least wait until we hire a replacement.
It's advised to proceed with extreme caution around Acid Peter. Despite his immobility, he's highly dangerous. Peter throws explosive projectiles peeled off of his own body at any perceived prey. The projectiles he throws sometimes fuses with the AI units, creating a new organism. These ghouls function as Peter's servants. I theorize they might have some sort of connection, a hive mind. Ironically, the same sort of hive mind Grim dreams of creating. If Peter somehow manages to dislodge himself from the ground and escape this facility, him and his AI minions will do unspeakable damage to Dirijongo. Acid Peter is an organism that fused with Petey, the portly pig animatronic. Acid Peter has an insatiable hunger. After rampaging through the facility for several days, he found his way into a burger bomb simulation stage that was under repair. Construction workers were fixing up the building. Me and my team were working on a large quantity of AI units when all of a sudden, Peter burst in. He devoured the entire construction crew. All of my scientists and dozens of AI units. I hid in the walk-in. I heard the screams of my friends and my co-workers as they were massacred. After hours, I finally emerged only to find Peter overburdened and fused to the floor. He couldn't reach me. And I made it out of the only survivor. The employees who lost their lives were simply wiped from the records. Their history as a company erased. Their families have no idea they even worked here. And now, I'll never hear from them again. Paragon must pay.
And what do you know? The toaster oven is back up. Cookies and hot pots are now available on the menu. Grab them for the walk-in, toss them in the toaster oven, and wait for the ding! Need I say more? Want me to do your job?
Hey, you aren't E7. Who are you? What? Cow got your tongue? Why are you looking at me like that? Oh, right. I'm kinda just a talking head. Say, you don't know what's going on, do you? Right. Well, I'm an artificial intelligence cybernetic organism. Or a robot, if you will. E7 was a human like you. A friend. Haven't seen him in a while, though. He woke me up. Now I'm going to wake you up. All of this is fake. And E7 made recipes to try to break out. See those blueprints over there on the walls? It shows you the ingredients you will need. Throw all 3 of those ingredients into Obscura's fabricator and watch the magic happen right before your very eyes.
The results are we aren't producing subservient workers. Years old, and yet his brain activity has aged into that of an 87-year-old. He has lost the ability to perform his tasks in the restaurant, staring listlessly at burning patties. It's a wonder he hasn't burnt the place down. I've observed the same deterioration in the radio host Maverick Cooper. Most of the other test subjects have perished or disappeared, like E7. I will be ordering the extraction of Toe and Maverick when I depart. Hopefully they can regain cognitive function with rehabilitation. What I have seen underground is nothing short of horrific. It's not just our experiments. Something is alive down there. Upon extraction, I must demand Zane reconsider his Lucidus initiative. It must be shut down immediately and permanently. We must seal the underground facility. Grimm is a good man, but I fear he's been staring into the darkness for far too long and losing sight of why we all started this. I enter the Lucidus Initiative simulations by my own volition. While I told my superiors I wished to test efficacy, I am here to test ethics. Are these simulations humane? I will record my observations and report my findings upon extraction. I have spent a considerable amount of time in the simulation. With my cognition fully intact, I was able to observe test subjects up close and really study the effects of this behavioral modification technology. The results are troubling, to say the least. The same trauma is present in test subjects across every simulation. We aren't producing subservient workers. We're replicating trauma. The Burger Farm employee, Toe, is just 35 years old, and yet his brain activity has aged into that of an 87-year-old. He has lost the ability to perform his tasks in the restaurant, staring listlessly at burning patties. It's a wonder he hasn't burnt the place down. I've observed the same deterioration in the radio host Maverick Cooper. Most of the other test subjects have perished or disappeared, like E7. I will be ordering the extraction of Toe and Maverick when I depart. Hopefully they can regain cognitive function with rehabilitation. What I have seen underground is nothing short of horrific. It's not just our experiments. Something is alive down there. Upon extraction, I must demand Zane reconsider his Lucidus initiative. It must be shut down immediately and permanently. We must seal the underground facility. Grimm is a good man, but I fear he's been staring into the darkness for far too long and losing sight of why we all started this.
Hello, my name is Theodore Oliver Emerson, but my family calls me Theo, and my friends, they all call me Toe. I've wanted to escape that nickname since childhood, and I finally did when I got here, but now I'd give anything to hear them call me Toe one last time.
Little did you know, You had a coworker. No, not me. No, I don't mean that tow guy. I mean the other guy who kept everything running behind the scenes. He quit. But don't worry. Should any events require your attention, you'll hear an alarm, and your task will be displayed on that event screen by the register. You only get about 40 seconds, but that's more than enough time for someone like you, right?
Hey kid, what are you doing in my office? Who told you to go in there? Hello? Oh right, these are one way. Listen.
Now that's much better. Now you don't have to listen to that guy go on and on and on. Who is he anyways? Probably some grunt paid to monitor you. I'll be your new tour guide. Thanks for flying with us. Anyways, if I were you, I definitely wouldn't press that lever if I were you.
The robot customers have become much more advanced since I left Barn and got thrown into the diner. Less creepy looking too. I managed to capture one of them, power it down and remove his head before tossing all his limbs in that spooky parking garage. I've been hacking into the head back at my motel, off shift. And believe it or not, he came to life. He has an actual personality. He never shuts up, and every other joke bombs, but Vic is my only friend. This virtual intelligent cybernetic isn't just someone to talk to, though. He's gonna be my ticket out of here. I'm E7, the one they used to keep in the Burger Barn simulation. The tech in HHBB was too effective, and the hypnosis was too strong. It made me nauseous. Everything was all warped looking and jittery. After the big explosion knocked the simulations off the grid, I managed to break out of there. But Paragon captured me and moved me here, to Happy Burger. I think this diner simulation stage is much older than Barn. The hypnosis is so much weaker. I've started to remember who I am again.
I hope you're happy, because now you're going to be serving hot dogs. It's simple. Hit up the new station, slap a bun down, the meat, some ketchup and mustard, and you're good to go.
The first encounter with Asa Joy happened shortly after the nuclear strike under Ajonga. For months beforehand, there were rumors. People said they heard noises from the dark and the staff would go missing. They didn't emerge from the shadows until the bombing. Dr. Grimms theorized that the nuclear explosion caused their creation, but I disagree. They were there before the bombing. The bombing just made them mad. Something primordial from the deep within the core of the Scythe was knocked loose when we started our sick experiments here. And when we tried to cover it up, the beast created in our shadows came to the light to feast. Whatever infected these animatronics was down there long before we got here. And we should have left it down there.
Order of Sun, protecting civilized folks from the cannibal tribes of the Zurakim Desert. Daltrop is a ringed planet orbited by 3 moons. Past research indicates a high potential for resource mining. The team sent to investigate the planet discovered 88% of its surface is covered in ocean. What they didn't expect was life on Daltrop. Our team seemed to come in contact with giant hostile creatures before communications were lost. Lea is the 4th planet from the Sun, a Paragon explorer. All communications from Leia were lost. Atonli is a gas giant. It is unable to sustain human life. We have lost 2 investigation teams to the surface of Atonli. The entire atmosphere is a never-ending storm, a mega hurricane that covers the planet. Thousands of tornadoes rip apart the surface that no mortal will ever lay eyes on. The last 3 planets, Numina, Dalvikate, and Kaikven, are linked together according to Dr. Graham's leaked ecliptic prophecy. Numina is an orb of electrical energy. Dalvikate is a giant metallic husk. It appears to be an abandoned space station rather than a planet. Kaikven is a mystery.
Grim is convinced the assets are highly intelligent. These organisms choose to possess the nightmare animatronic designs, taken from the more adult-oriented kaiju spin-off movies. Whatever fused with these animatronics could have possessed the friendlier-looking Behind Their Buds designs, but chose to go with the more threatening monster designs for a further advantage against their prey, to terrify and intimidate, to immobilize with fear. They cannot escape.
Hey, E42! I remember this place. It's where they throw all the broken bits and trash. You might actually find my body down here if you don't mind looking. E7 went down, though. Find a way down. Down, 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 down. Oh, hey, E42? This is a really bad place. You shouldn't be down here. E7 told me that Chicken lives down here. Charlie isn't so chill anymore, if you know what I'm saying. E7 kept talking about frying the chicken, which kind of sounds good, actually. Maybe you can figure it out? Make sure to bring me a souvenir. Wow, I'm surprised you made it to the power control room without running into Charlie yet. If you see him, he probably sees you. If that happens, run. I advise you try your hardest to avoid him entirely. Try hiding behind objects. Stealth is crucial here. You might notice lasers. Those will set off an alarm that Charlie will rush towards. Same with the eggs. Those explode and get Charlie's attention. Get the power running and watch out for him. You can always jump into the vents to take a breather.
So, I got moved again. This time from an early burger farm stage in unfinished city to a super spruced up version called, New Elysian City. I can't believe they actually gave us trucks in some of those simulations. My legs missed them. Anyway, I finally managed to transfer VIC from my old apartment near the diner to, my new apartment in New Elysian. Dragged Vic by the cables through the sewers. He wouldn't stop complaining the whole way. Almost got us caught by one of those things. We've started to work on these recipes. Keycard hackers, bombs, and the most important of all, the helmet. When the helmet is finished, it'll fry that lousy chip they implanted in my skull. Then I can finally get out of this place, once and for all.
Hey, 42, you found that recipe, the one for the Zappy helmet. E7 was looking for that for a long time. He said it makes the bad brain chip not work anymore. I think he meant the inhibitor chip that all test subjects get when they come here. You know that toe guy? The one that walks around the apartment? You see him all the time? He has had one for so long that his brain isn't so smart anymore.
Fabricating Reality Initiative. Obscura's plan aims to reconstruct society and culture on every level. They claim it's for progress, that they're noble philanthropists looking to make Scythe a better place. But I think they're really just power-hungry sociopaths who consolidate power behind false pretenses, completely monopolizing society and culture in the process. They do this to the detriment of the masses, to the benefit of only themselves. I'm not saying they want us all dead. Don't get me wrong. They want us subservient, compliant. It's all about money, credits over ethics. But what do I know? I know I managed to record an interview with Obscura Biotech co-founder Gregory Theodore Reynolds. I know Gregory is a powerful man. I know he's a major shareholder of both Sabbath Broadcasting Network and QuickCure. And I know he had people sent to my house to scrub this interview. But just for you listeners, I managed to hold on to the full, unedited chat. And now, I'm gonna air it right on the network. Hopefully this goes viral on status posts or something, who knows. Anyway, enjoy. Thanks for talking to Seacoast Row Public Radio. You mind if I call you GTR?
What? Absolutely not. If you must address me, then call me Mr. Reynolds.
Well, it's an interview, so, yeah, of course I'm gonna have to address you. An interview requires a back and forth, you see.
Usually for interviews, I am given the questions beforehand, have a script prepared and rehearsed for my answers, and never speak directly to the interviewer. Consider yourself lucky, a man who has been afforded a most rare privilege.
You once posted on Status Post, I think people should be legally obligated to stop eating animals. Are you really suggesting legislation is passed to force people to go vegan?
Why, yes, I did say that, but let me explain my reasoning. Restaurants like Happy's Humble Burger Farm are most popular for their hamburgers. As a result, the farmers providing their meat are forced to raise and harvest many cows. These cows and the methods in which they are slaughtered and prepared are a major source of carbon emissions. With Obscura Biotech, I aim at solving problems like a looming food shortage crisis or climate disaster.
So humans are forced to go vegan. What are their main diets now consisting of?
I never said we should pass laws forcing veganism or to ban people eating meat. Why, that's just absurd. That would be a violation of human rights, completely unjust and immoral, and, quite frankly, disgusting. The only change would be a ban on animal meat. You know, meat from cows, pigs, chickens, most animals, really. And fish, too. But there would be alternative meats made, delicious and nutritious alternatives developed through the wonders of science.
Obscura Biotech has mastered the technique. Well, the art, really. Obscura has mastered the art of synthesizing human excrement as an alternative source of meat. Just imagine a local elimination hole the masses would line up in to make their daily bowel movements.
You mean like a sewage system?
Yes, I suppose it is like a sewage system. But more importantly than what we name this meat processing center is what it does. You see, this sewage system, as you so roguishly call it, would collect all of the excrement and through a costly and time-intensive treatment, synthesize the collective eliminations into a rubbery edible patty. The synthesized meat product would then be seasoned and marinated with carefully engineered flavor chemicals. It would cost roughly the same as animal meat.
Sounds absolutely disgusting and impractical. So what is that unfinished meat beside you on the diamond-encrusted plate there? Is that the human meat? I mean, I guess I can't fault you too much when you're putting your money where your mouth is. I can begrudgingly respect you practicing what you preach, GTR.
Oh no, I wouldn't dare. This meat is a delicacy. Two-headed elk meat shipped in fresh from California. This thing is such a fresh kill. It was eating grass before you even woke up today for your commute to the radio hovel you're conducting this telephone interview from. I happen to be a culinary connoisseur.
Two-headed elk are an endangered species. I think that's highly illegal.
You don't say? Well, I could afford it legal.
Did you at least hunt and cook the creatures yourself?
No, but I hire the world's greatest hunters and the world's greatest chefs. I pay them an enormous premium and a generous tip. I almost always give them harsh reviews on Status Post Premium to keep them guessing.
What is Status Post Premium?
Your application would never be accepted. And I imagine you'd never be able to afford the yearly subscription fee. Not in 10 lifetimes.
Right. So you're calling in from your 166 million credit yacht, the SS Reginald, correct?
Yes, that is correct. This is one of my most prized possessions. Top 30 favorite possessions. No, top 25. How was the signal?
Oh, crystal clear, even from international waters. It's impressive, really. What a signal. Just to be clear myself, what you are saying, fundamentally, is that you want to have everyone else but you and your close friends and associates eating synthesized human excrement developed by a company you hold shares in and profit off of, while you illegally dine on an endangered species on board a 160 million credit yacht that's worth more than their entire bloodline's collective net income across history. Is that right?
Exactly, but we have other meat alternatives. It's not just the synthesized human excrement goo. And when we develop and serve up recycled garbage loaf, you best be ready and willing with a spoon, because if you don't, someone more grateful will get that garbage loaf. That serving will feed someone else's children while yours go hungry. It's simply better for the environment all round. But mostly for us, which is why you all got to do your part. We even wrote the part for you. Aren't you happy with your part we wrote for you? It's all conveniently laid out. Why aren't you complying? Why are you complaining where you should be complying? Why should the rich and powerful suffer for the luxury of you peasants? It was our ancestors who put everything together and built the very society you stain. Why should we be penalized with substandard living conditions to accommodate you wretches? Even a small chunk of 1 million civilians making sacrifices will do a ton more good than little old me selling one of my yachts or islands.
Given the fact you have such large shares in the Sabbath Broadcasting Company and the partnership between Obscura Biotech and Obscura Programming, isn't there a massive conflict of interest when you push products you have a stake in? For example, you own 20% of Quick Cure shares, and their medicine is heavily pushed on the Sabbath Broadcasting Company. How is this morally sound?
Where's the conflict of interest exactly? If anything, I'm one of the most qualified people on the entire planet to influence where people invest their cash, given how much of it I have. Who's more informed than me? Someone who not only invested within the media for decades, but actively pulling the strings of one of the biggest biotech companies in the world. We're good at what we do. How many listeners do you average? 15, 20 tops? Well, the media I invest in gets millions of viewers tuning in. And among those millions are thousands who use Obscura products, who will comply and think exactly how we tell them to because our products are the best. Tens of thousands comply on a good year, and hundreds of thousands comply on an election year. Do you know why that is? Because they know we are on the right side of the equation, the bed and history itself. They know we are fair and profit on progress, that our products are superior regardless of the means with which to produce them. They know that our competition is evil by sheer virtue of opposing us. How dare they refuse to fall in line 100% with our carefully funded and curated peer studies and op-eds, note for note? If it isn't complete compliance, you may as well call it terrorism. Sabbath Broadcasting does, we do, so SBN viewers can be certain that at Obscura Biotech we have the best interests of the planet in mind. And since saving Scythe is our interest, then their interests are our interests, you see. We have the monopoly on correct, so who else would they turn to?
I find the kind of language you're using disturbing. Not bordering on morally bankrupt, but downright despicable. Evil, really. How can anyone possibly claim a monopoly on correct? Especially people who have absolutely no clue as to what it's like living in poverty. It's pretty bothersome to hear someone so wealthy and influential speak like this. Is fabricating reality reframing morality?
What's bothersome to me is how some people out there are just allowed to use money, to walk around pretending to be civilized folk. I don't think money should be a right. I think it should be a privilege, that it should be earned. The use of money should only be allocated to those who comply with a basic moral standard, and this standard should be decided by a Ministry of Knowledge, an organization funded and populated by those with the proper experience to know what is best for everyone else. People like me and my constituents, and we have, and will continue, to do exactly that to the tune of massive profits. Now, if you excuse me, I have an important meeting with the CEO of Quick Cure Pharmaceuticals. My people should be at your house any moment to do a sweep and retrieve any and all recordings of this interview. Have a nice evening.
Working a full-time job can be so stressful.
What's up, Seacoast Row subscribers? Been at this King's Comfort Resort for a while now, and Obscura stuck to their word. On my last broadcast, you may remember me signing a legally binding verbal contract. This contract essentially stuck me under Obscura control for a year. And they weren't kidding. I haven't been allowed to leave the island. What have I got myself into? Anyway, I'm gonna upload these short audio logs onto this private Seacoast Row status post server. Only subscribers get to hear it. Since that's the case, may as well drop a little bombshell on you here. Maverick Cooper, signing off. Obscura has me making videos for their TV programming now. Must be nuts. I'm loading the shows they're paying me to make with so many truth bombs. Time to wake some people up. People need to know fabricating reality isn't some ticket to paradise. It's a totalitarian cult, and with the world government backing it, it has the potential to kill millions. Anyone who dissents is in danger. Maverick Cooper, signing out. Obscura aren't all that bad, you know? Sure, they may have extended my contract numerous times, keeping me here for what has to be several years at this point. Really hard to tell how much time passes when you're underground. But at least they've been lining up great interviews for me at New Religion Talk Radio. Maverick, Camp Cooper signing out. Off.
As district rights are trampled by the world's Scythian government, where will you turn? As district rights are trampled by the world's Scythian government, where will you turn? Turn to the people themselves. Seacoast Road Public Radio.
Welcome back to Seacoast Row, Public Radio. Obscura Biotech has big plans for Scythe. They've got really big ambitions and the funding to make it happen. I've talked about their Fabricating Reality initiative before, and it has gotten no less scary in the past, 10 years since they started leaning into it heavily. At least 8 since I started mentioning it, trying to warn you all. You're telling me that no one else finds it weird that a world government formed right after a big
Seemed to think was an explosion. Seemed to think was intentionally set off. I guess it's just me, Kevin Murphy, Kevin Murphy, and a few dozen dead eyewitnesses going on. That think something fishy's going on. What happened on 30 Jungle? Anyway,
before there was Obscura Biotech, there was a production company called Obscura Programming, and of course, the more sinister Obscura Family Programming. Surprisingly, I was able to secure an interview with their director of broadcasting, Alistair Bradley.
As district rights are trampled by the world's Scythian government, where will you turn? Turn to the people themselves. Seacoast Row Public Radio.
Welcome to Seacoast Row Public Radio. Now, usually you might expect me to be looking into conspiracies such as the ecliptic prophecy or what happened on Thuri Django. But today, I've got something different. I've got an interview with a celebrity that shall remain anonymous. If you had a television set as a child, you probably remember Farmyard Festivities or one of the other Happy's Humble cartoons, such as the dramatic anime Escape from the Barn, the wacky reboot Happy's Humble Hijinks, or the Super Barnyard Buds video games. Super fans might remember even more obscure stuff, like Farmyard Festivities on Ice. On Ice was a short-lived production. It was discontinued after troubles plagued the tour. There were rumors of a curse, abusive management, and a litany of other problems. The show was shut down permanently, never to return. Several cast members perished or disappeared under strange circumstances. I had a, quite frankly, strange interview with one of the remaining cast members. Their voice will be masked, their name withheld. We're not even going to tell you what character they played. Here's an interview with a former child star and former cast member of Farmyard Festivities on Ice. Enjoy. So I understand you were part of the cast on the very first run of Farmyard Festivities.
To be honest with you, I played it was kind of messed up. We had to put on the suits and it felt like they were breathing, closing in on you and then letting go. Like the suits had a mind of their own. The set was cursed. Some of the cast went missing, some of them even died in freak accidents. We weren't allowed to talk about any of it, but you said you cover up my voice, right?
Of course, we're gonna modulate your voice, and whenever I mention your name, or the character you played, it will censor it with a wonderful sound.
Good.
I just don't know if the FFOI handlers are still out there watching me, you know?
The FFOI handlers? Who were they?
Yeah, the people that ran everything behind the scene, that kept us on task, talent handlers. They made sure we showed up on time and ate the right food and took the right quick care capsules to maintain the perfect mental state to perform proper and land every spin. I mean, just controlling every aspect of what we do and where we go and who we talk to and what we can and can't say.
Sounds like skating in the falls weren't the hardest part of the job.
You can practice skating alone on your own time and get good at all the tricks and train your body to make the right moves, but to perform in front of a crowd with these really controlling production teams and talent handlers, on top of the hundreds of audience members, 3 generations of brand name fans, it was just out of control. The pressures of the road and life in the spotlight really got a lot of my co-stars coping in unhealthy and even dangerous ways, as if they were trying to clock out early, if get what I mean.
Did the cast ever try to go on strike, form an acting union, go to the press, or anything like that?
I guess this is really my first time, since every time anyone else tried to come forward, the media want to air the story, and they wound up missing or dead. The original Happy actress tried to start a movement on Status Post and go public, but she went missing shortly after. Years later, they just found her femur bone stripped of flesh, bleached, next to her cell phone. And the original PD was this older guy. He used to be famous back in the day, but his career was on the skids for a while. He thought his career and reputation would save him, but after he did an interview about harsh work conditions, it was scrubbed from the internet. He was fired, and less than a year later, he drove his car off a cliff. The original Gary got paralyzed from the waist down, and a few of the other cast members just vanished. After all this went down, they started bringing in international actors and actresses because all of the local talent started to hear all the rumors that the production was cursed and were too scared to even try out.
So not only is the production team abusive and threatening, but there also might have been a supernatural element at play? It's almost like you know my listeners.
Yeah, that was what had us all so spooked. We weren't sure if this was all a curse or if it was just abusive management, because the management were actually just as scared as we were. Strange things would go down on set, like stage lights crashing into a Zamboni mechanic and causing permanent brain damage. All of the actors and actresses started to have thoughts. Bad thoughts, violent thoughts, like the roles were shaping us into someone else. The original Charlie thought it was weird how in the series finale of the cartoon, all of the characters died, so he thought the director was ordering hits on the cast to get it as close to farmyard festivities as possible. We all thought he was crazy, but never got to tell him that because he opted out not too long after.
Was there anything enjoyable about production at all?
I mean, I grew up with the cartoons. I was a big fan of the brand, and I liked the job until the weird stuff started happening. A few shows in, I tried out for Charlie, the Chillin' Chicken, but I didn't mind playing Dimitri because it was less lines and the same pay. I'll be right back. I swear I'm hearing something at my porch. Hello? Who's there? Who are you? No, please. No!
Hello? Hello? Are you there? Ah, crap, what happened?
It has come to our attention that staff have smuggled a Fun Zone 64 video game console into the facility to play Senile Showdown, Savage Psychotic Senility on lunch break. Recreation is not tolerated. You are here to work, not to socialize or play video games like a child.
You know, people are actually thankful to get coal a century before the Scythian War. Back then they used it to heat their houses. None of the luxuries of modern civilization. None of it. We're all spoiled, you know that? And everyone wants to complain and post their problems on social media, but they don't have to heat their houses with coal.
G'day, mate. How's it going? Northbury Pale Ale is gonna get you buzzed. Whether you're a true blue bloke or a top shiller.
Uh-huh.
Sure, it might be bitter as it gets, and it'll have you running to the bog. But so what? That's how you know it's working. Don't be a fussy bloke. Get a Northbury Pale Ale up ya. Goes great in the stubby, but mind your pace. These might have you dropping your guts. Throw back a few pale ales and unleash a whole mess of barking spiders. Northbury Pale Ale. Ace out to the car? Oh, mate, you're a bloody legend.
Seacoast Road Public Radio. Giving a voice to the people. And a platform to broadcast.
Another day, another dozen reasons to move off the grid and never interact with anyone again. I mean, where to start with this generation of Scythians? An entire function on status posts just to report and dox each other? I thought that was what the block button was for. If someone bothers you, block them and move on. You probably should use the block function, since nowadays people can't agree to disagree like socially competent adults. They turn to RAT and go for the jugular, try to get each other fired. Oh, you voted differently. Well, your kids don't deserve to eat. I'm hitting the squeak button. I'll have your job. Yeah, what a healthy way to deal with opposing viewpoints. Why bother competing when you can just cancel the competition instead? At this point, we may as well start burning books to heat our houses. I don't get why we're rewarding people for becoming the very surveillance drones we used to be terrified of. What, when it's robots watching you, it's scary? When it's your neighbor watching you, it's progress? Then again, we're wiretapping ourselves now with these Paragon OS systems, and all for the sake of laziness. Wiretap, can you add blueberry muffins to my shopping list? These Paragon OS systems get installed in our homes, sync with all of our devices, sync with our Obscura biotech 3D printers, have access to our computers, our social media accounts, our banks. No one finds all of this creepy. What happens when your 3D printer goes rogue and starts fabricating reality you didn't ask for? Good luck dealing with the nightmares getting printed in your garage. That's just an artificial intelligence gaining sentience, hacking into your 3D printer and spawning your robot killer. And your surviving family members will have to foot the electric bill. But don't worry about that. You should be worried about spying on your neighbor, looking for something to squeak on him for. You know who doesn't get squeaked on? The world's Scythian government. Ever since they took control, the media's used nothing but kids' gloves. No one ever got held accountable for the nuclear meltdown on Durijongo. Instead of legal action and a thorough investigation, they formed a world government out of it. They rewarded their own incompetence with complete control of Scythe. No one finds that insane. Nah, you're all too busy ratting on each other and taking videos of yourself lip-syncing instead of questioning what the people in control are doing. On that note, how's lip-syncing a trend now? You'll get yelled at for self-promotion if you share an original song, but if you lip-sync to someone else's song, you get an endorsement deal with Bump Cola. It's like anything that takes effort and skill makes the masses feel inadequate and angry. So they hype up the laziest, most dull people to feel better about themselves. These people think their life is a music video, but they don't even know how to make music. And for some reason, they get rewarded for it. You can't blame kids for becoming vapid narcissists when it's what society encourages. But the adults in their 20s and 30s falling for this, what's your excuse?
Listen to me, folks. Everyone is so mortified when anyone speaks out against the world Scythian government. But is that anything new? This is Freeman TV on Status Post. Listen, humanity, you've always shunned uncomfortable truths, but the social engineers, they're coming to get them. Hey!
The World Scythian government has tasked all institutions within the establishment to re-educate the masses. We all beg of you, at the behest of the organizations keeping the world together, stop asking questions. Questioning authority is never right. In fact, it is very wrong. Did you know expressing the wrong opinions actually breaks thought law? This can be punishable with heavy fines or even jail time. It's time to abandon facts. Stop doing your own research. Stop questioning the narrative. Trust the narrative. If you distrust the narrative, you are a distrustful person. If you openly speak about distrusting the narrative, you will be put on a list as problematic. Critical thinking is a prison. Let us tell you your thoughts. We will make up your mind for you before you even have to think. Are you not a team player? Why be a public nuisance when you can stop talking nonsense and start taking orders?
In light of new competition in the energy drink game, Bump Cola has gone back to the drawing board. We've innovated our formula by sparing no expense and harnessing the ingenuity of the world's top flavor engineers and energy scientists to concoct a recipe unrivaled in both taste and energy boost. Our new beverage is unmatched even by the strongest coffee beans anywhere on the planet. Bump Cola is back with double sugar and double caffeine. Twice the rush, twice the sugar high, twice the energy. When you need to really get things kicking off, crack into a Bump Cola. And for the love of all that is holy, do not drink more than one of these a day. You might even want to cut it with water. New Bump Cola, unparalleled energy.
Hi, you may recognize me as Levant from Status Post. Whenever I'm streaming the latest games like Senile Showdown, Savage Psychotic Senility, and Super Barnyard Blitz Legendary Edition, I use Sharp Focus to give me the edge over players and NPCs alike. Sharp Focus, giving you a new perspective.
Life is pain. Existence is just suffering. Don't you get it? And the only way to cope, other than laying down and rotting, is to get these trendy bondage pants. Look at the chains hanging off them.
Taking your healthcare into your own hands can be intimidating. It can be confusing. Why bother with all the messy details? Hit up your local Quick Cure, pay your bills on time, and let our health technicians completely dictate your health. We offer patented hands-off healthcare to keep you productive, docile, and satiated. Let us do all the heavy lifting.
RAT is proud to announce the introduction of their own digital currency, Cheese Slices. Cheese Slices can be earned by consistent squeaking that leads to successful doxing and banishment of social media offenders. Any squeaker who manages to earn enough slices will even get the coveted Wheel of Cheese. This will enable them 0.0000015 of the ad revenue they generate. Wowee! RAT, clean up your digital community and watch your World Scythian social credit score soar.
Yo, do you even lift, bruh? It's time to hit the gym extra hard. Time to bring your pump to the next level. Time to set gains to maximum. We've got pre-workouts that'll leave you so energized, you'd swear you shotgun 8 jazzy Javas. This stuff is so legit, the government wants to ban it. But after finding a legal loophole, We figured out how to use untested ingredients with undocumented side effects. Never mind all that. These supplements are the GOATs, and we take risks for our pumps. CNG. It's a state of mind.
Set yourself at ease. Spritz your room with a few bursts of hidden meadow fragrance, and you'll feel as though you entered a majestic field. Wind in your hair, sun on your face, and the most beautiful view on sight standing before you. Aromatherapy's been proven to alleviate stress and help with the management of anger and anxiety. It's like a brain massage. Essential oils from an actual, real-life hidden meadow are utilized in our top-secret formula, all designed to give your nostrils a delight and your soul the spiritual nourishment it yearns for. Hidden Meadow Fragrances. Put your mind at ease. Today.
Hello, this is Rev Spin with Status Post, and I am proud to present to you Beard ASMR.
Sup, Status Post? It's me, the Shogun himself, Corey Kenshin. You already know I'm always getting down on the latest Fun Zone titles. Whether I'm breaking ankles, escaping the infected, and Here the Living Dead, or breaking freaking necks in the latest fighting games like Senile Showdown, Old Home Throwdown. Bars. I like to grub before a game, and when I'm extra hungry, that's when I know I gotta go with the delicious, scrumptious Happy's Humble Breakfast Buffet. I know, there's not many left around, but if you're close enough to one, and I'm talking like within 5 hours drive close, then you gotta go. All you can eat from a mouth-watering buffet, Petey's crispy bacon and pork sausage, Charlie's Country Fried Chicken, Happy's Breakfast T-Bone, and so much more. It's like even a farmer's getting in on the action with the sickle scrambled eggs. In fact, I'm gonna head there now. It's breakfast all day. Let's get it.
So much is expected of us in modern Scythian society. We gotta work, pay bills, say the right things, and avoid the wrong places. Meet the right people so we can avoid the wrong situations. And make sure we're doing right even by those that do us wrong. So we'll never have to deal with the karmatic consequences of wrongfully going about our day, wronging others with no right to do so until we stand rightfully accused of being in the wrong place at the wrong time for the wrong reasons. So much stress! Drink your coffee and get so juiced up on caffeine, your mind will shoot right past any sort of existential questions like these. Leave society behind with our caffeine. Jazzy's Java for when you gotta go fast!
When you just want to sit back, take it easy, and enjoy some classic tunes like Farmyard Festivities, Happy Humble Hijinks, and Escape from the Barn. then man, there's no better snack to munch on than these new desserts. The chewy chocolate chip cookies and delicious hot pies will change how you think about dessert, bruh. No lie! The chewy chocolate chip cookies and delicious hot pies will change how you think about dessert, bruh. No lie! But be careful. Once you eat one, you're gonna start smashing these things. I'm telling you.
You won't believe how happy you feel after enjoying a happy meal.
You're listening to Barry Jongo Daily with the Outcast Islands News Network. I'm Michael Trevor, here with a breaking story. In what appears to be a continuing trend, another tourist has gone missing while vacationing at the King's Comfort Resort. A search has been initiated and officials remain hopeful the child will be found. Authorities are urging the public to be on the lookout for an emergency alert has been activated. Please be advised a nuclear meltdown is imminent. Seek shelter by An emergency alert has been activated. Please be advised a nuclear meltdown is imminent. Seek shelter via evacuation tunnels located under the resort immediately. An emergency alert has been activated. Please be advised a nuclear meltdown is imminent. Seek shelter via evacuation tunnels located under the resort immediately.
How the hell did you get down here? Follow me. I'll get you back to the rest of the civilians. Man, you're lucky I'm the one who found you.
You know who that is, right?
No, should I?
That's the journalist there, the guy that got banned from Status Post. What's his name?
Maverick Cooper?
No, Maverick's already underground. He's been here for months. His buddy there, Ryder Heitzman.
Oh, wow, that is him. Don't tell me you listen to that talk radio garbage.
Nah, man, you know that's banned in here. Wouldn't want to cross Obscura.
Sometimes I think they treat employees worse than test subjects.
Reality fabrication brain chip has been successfully installed and active for a full day. Test subject is awake and stable and is currently viewing training videos provided by our in-house Obscura programming team.
Thought engineering was a success. Test subject's memories have been suppressed, and he is assimilating to the fabricated reality. He has been assigned Test Subject Designation Employee 42, or E42 for short.
Final reality fabrication chip calibrations have been made. Test subject E42 will be deployed into New Elysian City by the end of the day. I bet Grin must be excited about this one. He already got Maverick, but Ryder too? No one else will be doing stories about people going missing on Duri Jongo after journalists start disappearing like this.
Indeed. Want to go for a burger?
reset or power all off, or whatever it's called. I'm not so sure I'll see you again, but I hope you don't forget about me.
Huh. Do you hear that?